Let me make sure it's all running. All right, this is I'm Richard Mumford. I'm with Dwayne Hook, and he's going to tell us about the long shot. It's a replacement pouch that uses a archery trigger, and it's specially designed to attach to the big shot apparatus. But we're calling it the long shot. So Dwayne, why don't you tell us what we've made there?
Well, there are two key components to this, and one is the strap, and number two is the trigger mechanism. And Richard has come up with a very clever idea to bring these together with this aluminum block here, and he's tapped it into the archery trigger right here, so it's all one nice tidy piece without a bunch of linkages. So the beauty of this is this creates a progress capture and a mechanical advantage when you want to load the big shot, so you don't have to fumble and hold that perfect line of aim. You just let the progress capture do it for you.
And how does that attach to the pole down there?
Very simply. It's this is a strap that you get at any automotive store for like a tie-down strap, and it just hooks right into the bottom of your pole.
So we just put a hole through that little bumper on the bottom and just put it on there, and it doesn't, if you have ferrules or multiple sections, you don't have to worry about it because it bypasses all of those things.
Yep.
And it's actually got a real archery trigger. You can't take an archery trigger and not use an archery string. If you use a regular big shot string, the trigger doesn't hold it effectively. So that's actually an archery string with an archery trigger, and this is a special pouch that we make just for this, with the rings and the whole apparatus. So it's all built and designed exactly for that. So we're gonna have Dwayne just load a golf ball. There's a golf course not too far from here, and we are going to send this golf ball back to the golf course.
It's a Kirkland signature number 4.
All right.
So do I yell firing or do I yell 4?
Yeah.
The way I do it is always grab the band to capture the ball or the throw weight.
Yeah.
And then always horns away from you, so there's no risk of anything coming at you.
Yep. And do you then hold it up on your shoulder when you shoot? Because there's an option of sitting down.
I do it both ways on that.
Let's have you stand up this time.
Yep.
And hold it just like you would a shotgun.
Yeah, you get a little better line that way.
And kind of, you take that strap and hold it out of the way a little bit. But yeah, then you got a good line of sight right down there, and you got full pull on that thing, and you're just waiting now. Yep. You don't want to touch that trigger unless you're really ready to fire.
It's a hairpin trigger.
Okay, let me get behind you and see if, without getting in the way too much. Okay, we'll see where this thing's gonna go.
Okay, 4. Let me get my fingers out of the bag. That's the only thing here. 4.
Oh, I think it went.
It's going to make it to the golf course. Let's wait till we hear someone yell. Oh, you want to do the whole thing?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna, just hold that for a second. This is the pouch it comes in. It also comes with this Scotch-Brite pad, and a lot of people don't know this, but it is very helpful when you're trying to put this rubber over the big shot horns. If you can put a few drops of laundry detergent or hand soap in that water, it helps it slide on there a little bit, but then it also makes your hands a little slippery. So the reason for this Scotch-Brite is that as soon as you grab it with that, there's no more slippery. You can push that rubber up over the metal horns and make sure that the lengths are equal without fighting a lot and having your hands slip off there. So that's in there too.
Very thoughtful idea.
This is the bag that's going to come with it as well, and this is a bag that I will have available. But you'll notice, and this is also the bag I use with the magnet, with the bag throw bag. But one of the key elements of this is that unlike some of the other bags, here, if you hold that one, it's got a small ring, so there's less chance of the ring getting hooked on stubs and things like that. But it's also squishy, and the advantage to the squishy on the bags is that the magnet can stick on there better. But better than that is the way that, let me hold this up, if you'd hold that again.
Okay.
When when we set this in the bag, in that pouch, a lot of guys will lay them in sideways, right? They'll either lay it this way or they'll lay it that way. And what happens, whoops, they'll either lay it this way or they'll lay it that way. Some guys, it's crazy, but you put it in this way. But when you do that, you think about the trajectory of this. It's got to come out and it's got to feather itself straight, and so it'll have some wobble. But with the squishiness of this bag, you set it in there just like this, and then of course have the string come out so it's not binding on anything. When it comes out of the pouch, it doesn't have to seek and flop around. It just starts feathering out the way that it's going to fly. Nice. So it makes it a lot more accurate. So it just comes shooting out of the pouch like that, and it doesn't have to reorient or anything. So, and because it's squishy, it sits down in that pouch a lot better.
Nice.
So
cool. I'll show you how to hook this up. So I guess this would be the business end here, and you just put a hole in the bottom of your pole, whether you're using a Jameson pole, some kind of painter's pole, or whatever.
As long as it's fiberglass, don't use something that's wood. I mean, that's a recommendation from, you don't want that pole to break. It's got to be a strong fiberglass pole.
Unless you're in the jungle and bamboo is all you have around.
That's all you have, and you don't mind getting speared with bamboo.
So you just get it attached and then put your pole back upright, and you press the button, little cam, and just extend it out to length. And there's the trigger. Close and open.
Open that trigger up.
Open it up. Put it on. Close it. Test it.
And that does not come off. It will not misfire. But if you touch it, it will fire.
It's not a misfire.
It's not a misfire. It's a will fire.
But
absolutely.
It is a hairline trigger, no doubt about it.
We used this. Dwayne and I used this with Eric Palmer when we were married, measuring some of those eucalyptus on Berkeley campus, and we were shooting 200 feet with a different steel weight and a fishing line, but we were shooting 200 feet and every time hitting targets and setting tie-in points that were 185 feet, you know, for those were 210 foot eucalyptus, if I remember right.
Yeah, 210.
Yeah, and we had a good time, but that was with that big shot getting that high.
And it won't misfire.
I tell you,
but it
touch the trigger.
I'm just going to tap it until it will fire. That's it.
It's a hair trigger.
Yep.
It really is. So it's a squeeze and pull. It's just like shooting a shotgun or something, you know. You just got to squeeze the trigger.
Yeah, and you get no like deviation when you pull the trigger. You don't have to pull and struggle and pull yourself offline.
Right, you don't have to jerk on it or anything like that. It's just a nice easy pull and for a release. Well, you know, it really is a good thing to know how to throw. Yeah. You know, but there are times when you don't want to mess around. You got a cat rescue, or say you got to rescue a climber. You can't spend 30 minutes getting your line up in your tree. It's just nice to have a big shot around and put it up there and be done with it.
Yeah, I rarely use my big shot except for on really tall line settings. Yep. You know, if the first limbs, maybe on a giant tulip poplar, when we're looking at the first limb around 90, 100 feet, you might as well get the big shot.
Get the big shot out and just be done with it, rather than, because I can't throw over 100 feet. Some people can, but not accurately. I don't
want to wear yourself out before you even climb anyway.
Well, thanks, Dwayne.
My pleasure.